Welcome back to Auto Vibe, the channel where we usually ride with cars. But today, we're shifting gears in the biggest way possible. We're trading horsepower for jet power, and heading straight into the skies. And what better aircraft to start with than one of the most legendary fighter jets in history, the F-14 Tomcat. This wasn't just a jet. It was a Cold War warrior, a Hollywood star, and an icon of American air power. Today, we'll break down how it was built, why it mattered, and the incredible legacy it left behind. So strap in, because this time, Auto Vibe is firing afterburners. After Vietnam, the US Navy faced a serious problem. The F-4 Phantom, their main fighter, had speed and firepower, but it struggled in close dogfights. At the same time, the Soviet Union was building bombers that could launch powerful cruise missiles from far away, threatening US carriers. The Navy needed a new aircraft fast, versatile, and capable of protecting the fleet from long-range attacks while still dominating in close combat. That's where Grumman came in. Famous for building tough naval aircraft, Grumman developed a fighter that answered every challenge. The result was the F-14 Tomcat, a machine that could intercept threats miles away, dogfight if necessary, and still land safely on the moving deck of an aircraft carrier. The Tomcat's design was revolutionary. Its most famous feature was its variable sweep wings. Spread wide, the wings gave it the lift it needed to take off and land on carriers at slow speeds. Swept back, they turned the jet into a supersonic predator built for speed. It had twin engines for safety and raw thrust, and a two-man crew, the pilot in front and the radar intercept officer, or RIO, in the back, managing radar and weapons. The radar itself was decades ahead of its time. The AWG-9 could track up to 24 targets and engage 6 at once, unheard of at the time. And it carried the AIM-54 Phoenix missile, a long-range weapon that could destroy enemy aircraft more than 100 miles away. Alongside the Phoenix, the Tomcat also packed Sidewinders, Sparrows, and a Vulcan cannon for close-range fights. If most jets of the era were like sports cars, the F-14 was a shape-shifting supercar with missiles. The Navy put the Tomcat into service in 1974, right in the heart of the Cold War. From then on, F-14s were stationed on aircraft carriers around the globe. Their job was simple: protect the fleet. Soviet bombers often tested US defenses by flying near carriers, and time after time, F-14s would rise to meet them. With their radar and Phoenix missiles, they could stop threats long before they got close. For Soviet pilots, seeing a Tomcat appear alongside their wing was a clear message: you're not getting any closer. Though designed as a deterrent, the F-14 did see combat. In 1981, two Tomcats downed a pair of Libyan Su-22 fighters in the Gulf of Sidra. In 1989, they shot down two Libyan MiG-23s in another confrontation over the Mediterranean. During Operation Desert Storm in 1991, Tomcats flew missions ranging from combat air patrol to escort and reconnaissance. And while the US Navy never lost an F-14 in air-to-air combat, the jet's story didn't end there. Before the 1979 revolution, the United States delivered Tomcats to Iran. Despite decades of sanctions, Iranian crews kept them flying. During the Iran-Iraq War in the 1980s, those F-14s scored dozens of air-to-air kills, proving how effective the design really was. Even today, Iran is the only country still operating Tomcats, keeping the legend alive in their own way. But the F-14's fame didn't just come from war. In 1986, the movie Top Gun turned it into a global superstar. Audiences watched Maverick and Goose push the Tomcat to its limits in dazzling dogfight scenes. The film captured the imagination of millions and even boosted Navy recruitment. No other fighter jet became a Hollywood icon quite like the F-14. Eventually, though, even legends retire. By the early 2000s, the Tomcat was expensive to maintain and its technology was aging. The Navy phased it out in favor of the F-18 Super Hornet, which was easier to operate and more cost-effective. On September 22, 2006, the U.S. Navy officially retired the F-14 after more than 3 decades of service. Still, its legacy hasn't faded. You can see Tomcats in museums, at air shows, and on the big screen in the sequel Top Gun: Maverick. For aviation fans, the F-14 remains unforgettable with its sweeping wings, its growling engines, and its reputation as one of the most capable fighters ever to take off from a carrier deck. The F-14 Tomcat wasn't just another jet. It was the face of U.S. naval aviation for over 30 years. From Cold War intercepts to Hollywood stardom, it proved that some machines become more than just metal, they become legends. Here on Auto Vibe, we usually keep our wheels on the road. But sometimes, you just have to take flight. Tell me in the comments, what aircraft should we cover next? The F-15 Eagle, the State Route 71 Blackbird, or maybe the stealthy B-2 Spirit? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next ride, whether it's on tires, or afterburners.